up in New Jersey with the Smithereens and watching the World Series, and getting up early on Sunday morning to watch the Washington Redskins, a rare week where I rooted for the Redskins to beat the Cincinnati Bengals. It ended in a tie 4 hours later. This guy is probably a little jet lagged through it all. He is the longtime voice of the Redskins in and around D.C. and a member of their championship team. He is Rick Doc Walker. You can follow his journey out on Twitter as well as at ESPN 980. Doc, man, I was trying to track you down last month. You were ducking me up here. You guys come in here, beat us up, and take a win we haven't won since. But it is good to get together with you whenever I do. I know it's a tiring trip going over to London, isn't it?
Yeah, it was my first trip, Ness, and it was good. I mean, we didn't win, so that was not good. But we didn't lose, and so it's kind of a weird state. It is just unacceptable for how many points we leave off the board, man. We just don't score in the red zone, and we got to fix it.
Well, and obviously missing a kick probably doesn't help either way. And, but everything about the London game, we hear so much about it. So let's start with that, because I'll get to the tactical side of this and where the Redskins are and certainly where the Bengals are. We're going to find out where the Ravens and the Steelers are as they get together this week. But we have never made the London trip. I talk to people in Jacksonville who do it every year, and there have been plenty of places where they've actually done this. And I know the Redskins, when Marvin was coaching there, played a game over in Tokyo in the preseason. It was a hell of a trip. Yeah. But the London thing, fill me in on it. I mean, you have expectations about it. I've been to London. I've been to Europe many times. But I can't imagine going over and playing football. One of my best pals is a Redskin fan. He was over there this weekend, and he was texting me all day Sunday, and he said it really feels like a big event. So to him, and he's been to, hundreds, if not thousands of NFL games, he said it felt like a big deal being a Redskin fan over there.
It was. It was a big deal. We had a rally that was incredible. 1,000 people lined up in a line. I mean, all around the building. Felt like a beetle. I mean, it was stupid because they have a great appreciation for NFL football. So their fans wearing all assortment of jerseys. The big difference is that if you're at M&T, everybody's going to be, in black, or they're going to be in purple, or the opposing team. There, I saw Dolphin jerseys. You saw Texan jerseys. You saw Raider jerseys. It's an NFL deal. And then the Bengals were the home team. They had a great amount of fans. Redskins had a great amount of fans. And so it was some guy said it was Super Bowl-like who had played in Jacksonville, Will Blackman, our corner. And I didn't see that. I will say it had a playoff feeling because it's packed, it's big. It is the field itself. That we had like guys slipping, but then other people didn't. They care about it. I can see this thing eventually happening. I mean, if they'll do Thursday night football, it's obvious they don't really give a crap about players' safety or health. So why not London?
Well, I mean, do you think they'll have a team over there one day? Does it smell that way to you?
Yes. Yeah, eventually, absolutely. Because they'll have the team will go anywhere there's a market. And that's like New York, Chicago, L.A. It's huge. I mean, it's big time. And so, the money's not an issue. The logistics, they'll work it out. But, again, with Thursday night football, they proved to me that they don't give a crap about.
Well, I mean, I'm same as you. I mean, I never played the game at the level you played it at, but it doesn't take much to look every Thursday night and see games that are garbage. Guys who aren't ready to play, coaches who aren't ready to coach, game plans that haven't been properly installed, and certainly the human body that has not been properly rested. The brand of football on Thursday night's disgraceful. I agree wholeheartedly with you, Doc.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's like throwing a starter. If you got an ace and you throwing him on 3 days rest consistently, you wouldn't do it. You just wouldn't do it. Now, on rare occasion, closeout series, maybe. That's where we're at right now. But it's all about what the people demand. And it was interesting. It's a beautiful place. The history goes without saying. But when you go, we went on Thursday. The Bengals went on Thursday. A lot of our TV people, Larry, Michael, and the guys, they went Sunday after our game in Detroit. And so from a sales standpoint, getting all your sponsors, an area that you're really very well versed at, couldn't be better. Dan had the yacht and people going out, so it was It's first class.
We're going to get a game over there eventually, and I'm sure like the later you go, the more the league and London and the logistics, the nicer a trip it will become for our fans. And, we're a decade into this thing now, at least it feels that way, and it's certainly not going the other direction. We're not just going to play there once. We're going to play there several times if I get to live long enough. And, I'm kind of looking forward to it in some sort of weird way. But from a football standpoint, and I know the Bengals have the week off this week, and we had off last week along with the Steelers. It is nice, I guess, to play it in the middle of the year and have the week off the week afterward, right?
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Well, Baltimore. Indianapolis played and came right back and won without a bye week. So that was the worst thing that could have happened to the league, because now they've shown and proved it can. It's possible. But these guys will play under circumstances. They're pros, man. They're in great shape. I mean, they can do some things that don't make sense, but I wouldn't want to have that on a regular basis. And knowing, what I know of your coach and John Harbaugh, he's football-centric, man. No football people like the distraction part of it.
Doc Walker. I'm sorry, go ahead.
He's not going to – he'll do it if he has to, but I guarantee you don't volunteer for it.
He is Rick Doc Walker. You can follow him out on Twitter at Rick Doc Walker, down at ESPN 980. And, I was kidding around with you, saying you were ducking me last month. But, I had a bunch of guys on from D.C., all your compadres. Larry came on, and Larry's done as much for leukemia as anybody. I've been reaching out to him. And, strangely enough, because I'll go back on the Redskins and the Ravens, but the guy who saved my wife's life twice on the bone marrow registry is coming over this week. So he's going to be here for the Steelers game and the Browns game, and we're doing some other stuff around town with him and whatnot. Good. But he is a 23-year-old kid from Germany who loves the National Football League and the NBA. But, in Germany, I saw NFL stuff everywhere, and I know in Frankfurt they had a very successful operation there.
Sure did.
So you go over there and you smell it a little bit, and it sounds funky over here, but the more you touch it, and we're going to touch it this week when this young man who saved my wife's life come over, and he's going to talk in glowing terms about the NFL, and not in a foolish way. I mean, he really watches and pays attention. He knows all the players. He has a fantasy team. It's not really different than being a kid from Bethesda, quite frankly, right?
It's going to happen, Nass. It's going to happen. I saw it with Mom. I mean, it wasn't – they didn't pay people to go. The people were there. It was packed. I mean, they put 88,000 in that arena, and they do it every time they're there. And they're building a NFL regulation stadium, 60,000, 63,000, and it's going to be geared more to, U.S. American football. And the more they do this, the better it's going to be. And it really is it's going to happen. I was impressed with. I thought it was good. Not a hype deal. It's solid. The football fans, they're encouraged by the game. And, any good businessman is going to be trying to open up new markets, and they have one.
Well, Doc, so you opened us up and sliced us open about 3-4 weeks ago now, and we haven't recovered. We haven't won a football game yet. We got the Steelers coming in. We've been as banged up as anyone, but we've been eyeing up the Bengals, right? So this was my shot on Sunday morning to see what they had under the hood and what ails them. It was a competitive game. It was a very entertaining game, certainly at 11:30, 12 o'clock in the morning, to have a game that, as you pointed out, the fans were into it. It felt like a real game. Felt like there was a lot of stake. Felt like a playoff game to some degree. But the tie thing and where the Bengals are, and obviously where the Redskins are at this point, kind of a tough outing for both teams to have to come back here not having a win. And it's certainly, and I tweeted right away, I'm like, it feels a little bit like a loss if you're a Bengals fan, I would think.
Yeah, because they came in, they didn't have a winning record going in. They come back out and they still don't. But what they did was get Eifert back at tight end. And they have this freak of nature at wide out and green that you're familiar with the people.
We are.
And so they're no joke. They're much better than their record would indicate, but everybody's growing in this league right now. And I think from John Harbaugh's standpoint, he gets it. It's about the Ravens still have a chance to control their destiny. And so the beauty of it is that if you get healthy, and from what I understand now, T. Suggs, has been given a green light, which helps you so much because the Ravens are their defense. And they just absolutely have got to bring back that level of intimidation and dominance that they have had so much success with. And then you got to get your O-line back. I mean, those are the two benchmarks of Ravens football. We got to be able to run the football and got to be able to stop you from running it. So I'm hoping that health lends its hand to you and you're able to get back in it. But by no means I mean, is anybody really out of it? Not in your division.
Well, certainly not in your division either. I know the Cowboys look to be running away a little bit here, but as far as the wild card goes, Giants, Eagles, you guys all very much in the mix. What do you like about the way the Redskins are playing right now? Give me some signs of life as you see it.
Well, they have toughness. They're resilient. I mean, they do not quit. You got to really, really beat them. You can't get them out of it because between the 20s, they're as good as anybody in football. The problem is we're not scoring. We're not getting benefits for it. We racked up, 452 yards in it. But again, so what? But we got to get in the end zone. And as that comes, because they have so many playmakers, sometimes you have too many. You got to get a nice blend. I'd like to see us run it more. I think we'll become, as it gets colder, good teams run more anyway. We just got to get to that. Defense is growing up. I mean, in our game against the Ravens, you give up, we could gut it for 75 yards in the opening drive. And at that point, you're thinking, oh, my goodness. But they recovered. They were able to kind of tighten it up. They got a good group of people. And what they got to do is just stay healthy and just keep getting better. And if we can get that going and start scoring more, I think Fat Rob running the ball may give us a different element. He's rugged, man. You have to have a go-to back. I don't like alternate anybody, especially my backs. I need a bell cow, and somebody's got to go take that. And as that happens, I think we'll get better.
Cousins better this year than last year, Doc?
Oh, yeah, he is. Because now he's a marked man. In this league, it's just like Joe Flacco. I mean, he can't trick anybody. Everybody knows who he is. They're scared to death of him. And he's been running for his life because he hadn't had protection. But as you shore that up and give him that play-action element, he's still Joe Flacco. This kid is Kirk Cousins. And I'll tell you what, I just want him to trust himself more and use his legs a little bit more. And he's extending plays. He knows where to go with the football. We threw it 50 times. He got sacked once. So he's doing fine. What we got to do is do better in the red zone. It's not just him. It's the whole team. And we just got to get tougher. We got to get yards. We're 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. We got to get that hard yard. We got to stop our opponents from getting it. And that's all about third down efficiency. We're okay, but in crunch, I'm a plus-minus guy. All I care about is red zone. Can we stop you and hold you to 3, and can we punch it in for 7? And we got to get better.
Doc Walker joining us here from D.C., where the Redskins and the Bengals battle to a 27-27 draw in London town. Doc, man, I thought you'd be like in the south of France or doing one of those, old guy cruises on the Rhine somewhere down near Salzburg.
No.
I mean, I can't believe you came back so quickly. I thought you'd spend a week over in Europe. You'll play again for 2 more weeks, man.
Had we won, maybe. When we don't win, dude, I'm depressed. Because it costs me money. See, I make more money when we win, dog. So I need to get back here right now and start grinding.
I know what you mean.
I got to get in your league, baby.
I hear you, man. But, I mean, these ties, what are they going to do about fixing a tie? I mean, I keep hearing people say they got to – well, go ahead, Smarty Pants. What's the big idea that beats a tie? I mean, I don't know how to go 10-on-10, 9-on-9. I have field goals, penalty kicks,
End it as it is, man. You can't leave these guys on the field. Suppose you have to go through a tie, an extended tie, and have to play one of those ridiculous Thursday night games. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Do you think ties are never going anywhere? There'll always be ties.
No. Not if it includes me putting my kids out there for more reps. We had guys had 80 reps.
We had a quarterback throw the ball 56 times, right? I mean, it's not designed to do that either, right?
No. Let's end it. If we can't get it done in regulation, they both got to deal with the ties. They're both their faults. They both had a chance to get it done, and they didn't.
Doc Walker's going to be in a bad mood for 14 straight days. You can find him at Rick Doc Walker out at ESPN 980 and out on Twitter. Hey, man, love having you on. It's always a pleasure, man. Be well down there. Hopefully we see you at a Caps game or somewhere further down the line, man.
Hey, man, well, that Brad Jackson, man, that old Raven linebacker, you keep him in check for me, man, and all the blessings, man, to the better side of your family, man. Had the pleasure of meeting her, and that's never forgot that.
Well, we got some miracles everywhere. We got a few more up our sleeve, man. We'll see you at a Wizards game down the line, and I'll do what I can do about Brad Jackson and the purple and black attack. I'll have a talk with that young man.
Okay, good deal. All right.
See you later. I love Brad Jackson. Rick Doc Walker joining us here from Twitter. He is Rick Doc Walker, and that's with a DOC, and of course ESPN 980. Long-time host. He's at Fox 5 on the pregame. Let's see, NBC Showtime, CSN Sports Talk Live. Anywhere the Redskins are spoken about, Rick Doc Walker speaking about him. We appreciate Ray Bachman, our executive producer, tracking down Rick. He's got like a bloodhound grabbing these guys a couple weeks after the game. It's good having Doc on. We're going to get all over the league. We did not play last week. We're playing this week. We're going to be in Pittsburgh. We got the World Series going on, as well as the Terps taking on the Wolverines at the Big House. I even got some Caps and some Wizards, some NBA in here this week as we get ready for Terps basketball season as well in the Big Ten. Nasty at WNST.net finds me anywhere the internet is served. Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live as well on our Facebook Live, as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.